And I think we're back. And once again, just for dramatic effect, I think it would be best if I were to restart this project. So let's go ahead and make it new. And from here, I will do the same thing I did last time, adjust all this stuff. And I don't have a real plan today, but I was thinking maybe I would mess around a little bit with like randomizing some of these patches and just going with that and working from there. So that might be kind of a fun video to make, or not exactly video make, but just like starting point. So let's start with let's actually start with the hard sync. That's what it's called, right? I think so. Yeah, the hard sync engine. I'm going to hold it down. Let's scramble it. Not my favorite. That's kind of interesting. I mean, that's not what I was expecting, but let's actually let's copy that just in case we want to use it. Let's scramble it again. I don't know. That seems, that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's interesting enough, though, for right now. Let's scramble it again. Man, what was I thinking starting with the hard sync one? I was like, let me make this difficult by choosing one of my least favorite ones. So in that case, let's actually go over to the keys, because, you know, this is a little bit more, a little easier to control. A little bit less atonal, usually at least, unless you have the vibrato on. Let me try to play in a key that isn't C minor, because that's like 90% of what I play, it feels like. I don't know. It's weird to like arbitrarily pick a key. But you're going to see how bad I am with actually using scales and stuff. Let's do G minor. Okay, maybe that could be our starting point. Not exactly exciting, but my hope here is actually, I think I'm going to start with this just being on the tape track. So I first have to play this in, so that way we at least have it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Maybe we'll turn off some of that. Let's just make that a little bit more subtle. And maybe we'll turn on a filter and make it really strong. Let's see. Maybe we'll make FX1 like a lo-fi, the lo-fi effect, or whatever they called the bit crusher. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let's see. What should we put the LFO on? That seems interesting enough. Maybe. But now that we've got that bit crusher way up high, what if we drop this another octave here? No, I don't like that. Raise it an octave? Okay, that's interesting. Maybe we could put a bit of a random LFO specifically on the attack. And it's going to be free, relatively minor. And let's just have it changing. Every 8th note is good. Is that good? What if we make it... Okay, so that's not quite as responsive as I was hoping. Oh, I guess I could just attach to the envelope here. Let's pull up the element. Wait, where I'm attaching the envelope to the envelope. Oh, I'm being stupid. Whatever. Why would I do that? Let's just do value. Not being stupid. I should stop using language like that. And language like should. Ah, crap. Anyway. That's cool. Okay. What if we actually make this much slower? And what if I just grab this and this? And we'll see how this goes. This might be real awful. But at the very least, let's make sure that the length is 100. And I guess that I'll clear the parameters just because I don't want it to have all the pitch bend stuff I did. And we'll just make it those 4 steps for now. Let's name this. Last time I learned not to name it something as like pretentious as Siddhartha, even though literally it was the book, but I just, to this day, I'm like, oh man, that was a weird thing to do on stream. Let's call it, let's call it, well, I was going to name it after my job, but can I talk about my job? I'd probably get kicked off or get a strike or something. Anyway, let's go ahead and just call this, gentle. I like that. Maybe. We'll see if this stays gentle or not, though. That's always the thing for me. This is probably going to get real gnarly in a minute, knowing myself. Let's make sure this is at 0. Let's give us... Yeah, here we go. And what I'll do is I'm just going to have this repeat. How do we make it? Let's make it so that it really starts here. Maybe this one. What happens if I make the tape tracks volume 0 for that? Okay, that's a start. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not saying it sounds great. I'm saying it's a start for what I was going for. So we'll have it do that the very first time. Or actually, you know what? We don't even need to do that. We'll just have this jump back here. Man, I got to get around to that step component video someday. What if we just do that? And let's have that be what we start with. Oh wait, I did want that note there. Crap. And I did want it with that. Oh shoot. No, I didn't want to do that though. This is what I wanted to do. Oh man, I've been requesting that for a second now. Making it so I don't have to like... So I don't mess that up as easily. That's interesting. Why is that not covering the whole duration? Well, maybe it is. Well, anyway, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll just start without the tape track at first, or maybe something else will end up going to the tape track. We'll see. And you know what? Let's just do the cheapest trick, which I generally don't do when I'm sitting down with my XY, but I do all the time when I'm on a stream or something. Actually, let me copy this. This seems more like it should go on number 6, just because of how I generally use the tracks. I will clear number 4. And then let's link 6 and 7. Oh, I didn't successfully do that. 6 and 7. There we go. On 7, we will put an arpeggiator. Let's do the duck LFO, and we'll just assign it to track 1. And let's just start there. For some reason, I told myself I was going to mostly be using the the stock sounds this time. We'll see how long I stick to that. You can do a lot with them if you want. Let's see. Tips or resources for complete music noob to learn on the KO2. That's a good question. I'll be totally honest. I hope somebody else chimes in and replies to you, because sort of after maybe my first 6 to 8 months of making videos, I stopped watching gear videos. Just because it's hard for me to watch a gear video and then not have my brain be like, oh, I should be making a video about whatever. So I'm actually not really up to date about that sort of thing. I know Nick Hook has a good amount of videos. I know a lot of people have suggested, I think Sunwoo, I believe, has some good videos for it. Trying to think who else. I know that Ricky Tinez did some videos, but I'm not sure if he actually did any tutorials or anything. I just like his videos. Let's see. And let me know if that doesn't answer your question, or also, what do you mean? Because I'm also back. I'm down to start making some tutorials again. It may be more in a stream form, which is a little unfortunate just because it's, I would have to edit it later or something, but, lately streaming has just sounded way easier than sitting down and recording a video and then editing it and uploading it and stuff like that. So I've just been doing what sounded better so far. So yeah, just let me know what sorts of stuff you'd be curious about learning. Are you talking about just basic rhythm stuff? Oh, if so, then check out, what is it? 8-Bit Music Theory's video on drums. That's a solid one. You know, I'll just do this OPZ style and just open up another drum kit here, just kind of separate my hi-hat kick and stuff. Oh, you know, one thing I've been thinking of that could be interesting on like a drum track here, like especially one like this, is what if I turn on the arpeggiator, but what if I make it random and make it just change? I mean, I guess every like 16th note would probably be the way to go. Make sure it's not on hold, and let's see how this goes. Or what if I do, yeah, 2. This is really underwhelming. Oh, I just realized it's because it's... That makes sense. It's because it's on the arpeggiator mode, so like it's only responding to one note at a time. I'm trying to think if there's another way I could sort of randomize that. Step components, but do we really want to do that? Nope. Okay, I'm restarting this one. I'm not a huge fan of this. Or not a huge fan of where I was going with that track, I mean. Okay, so let's have that happen every second time. Oh, oops. Oh, geez. Okay, so yeah, that's going to happen every second time. This is going to happen every... you know what? Let's have this happen actually every 4th time. Oh, that's because velocity sensitivity is very high. Let's turn that off. Is that really the same note on all those? Why are these ones so much quieter? Am I just being like stupid? Maybe. That's possible. Maybe I was in a different octave before? I don't know. Let's hope that that keeps the step components. Of course not. No, we'll do this. Yeah, whatever. We'll stick with our original plan. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I wasn't really planning on streaming today, but got work coming up later, and I wasn't sure what else to do with my time today, honestly. Didn't get a ton of sleep last night, but can't really sleep. And now I'm just rambling to internet strangers. Thanks for tuning in. Tuning in. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is what I'm going to call kind of like my, this sort of like base of my idea here. Let's first off start off with a... Let's start with that, but then let's also have the tape track doing something. So I'd originally turned it off of the mix, but I don't necessarily think that's a great idea. Let's make sure we don't have the drums in there. And I think that's probably where the bass will go, if not right there, but... Horrible. Let's see what else we might be able to do here. That's interesting. There we go. Oh, and let's take that out. Oh, where was I? This is embarrassing. That's kind of interesting. So we'll at least add that right there. And what if we... let's parameter lock these. Let's make this 6 and 150%. So, and we'll have that happen maybe every 4th time? Does that sound reasonable? Sounds reasonable to me. Or maybe I'll just do it this way then. I've got one more trick up my sleeve. I'm going to make this an octave low, and then I'm going to make it so that it, every, let's say the first of every 2 times. No. Yeah, the first of every 2 times it will be an octave up. So let's hear what this happens. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to make it so that the first time through it's going to play at its, like, the same pitch and speed that it has been, this whole time. And then the second time I want it to just play an octave lower. Third time it'll be the same pitch it's been this whole time. And then that 4th time it's going to be an octave lower, but then raised up oh, let me change this from 6 to 3 actually. Oh, I've overloaded it or something. Anyway, my hope there was to make it so that it like has like 2 variations of the pattern. This could probably actually be, this could be like half as fast, couldn't it? Oh, whatever. Maybe a gigantic distorted bass would make this better. That's the thought that I have most of the time in my life. Maybe like this. That's interesting. Okay. So let's make it so that we've got... What if this just cuts off like that suddenly? And maybe it's going to control position, I guess. So maybe it can just be here. That's pretty intense in my mind. What key was this in? Was it like B flat or something? No, it was in G minor. Let's just keep this really boring, whatever. And let's send it to the reverb at least a bit. Let's make sure it's mono. And maybe we'll do some portamento too. Nope. Yeah, I guess I don't have the cue next. Oh, I've got it right next to me, but wasn't using it so far. Actually, though, that is kind of a perfect idea for what I'm doing now. The only problem is I did not wipe that off with a paper towel, which is important when you have a light background, it turns out. Otherwise, it looks just disgusting. Not to say that my gear is not, like, disgusting. It kind of is. But I'm not the cleanest person you've met, but I try. Before I make myself sound like a slob, I should just shut up. Let's move these up an octave. And we'll turn that off so I don't get confused, as I often do. Now, let's try a couple different speeds, because this is sounding a bit stale to me, and so this is sort of part of my process now. Then maybe I'll even try stuff like, what if I do it with halftime drums? Okay, so in this case, I'm actually just going to switch the drums back to what they were. I liked this sound, but the way I'm going to do it instead is I'm going to bring this down to halftime, about half of what it was before. And I'm going to make it so that the arpeggiator is at twice the speed it was at before. And then this is going to be fast as well. Well, take half the time, half the duration. What have I done? Does this have to be shorter then, I guess? I feel like the kick and the bass are not really getting along very well. I guess I get to do the cheap thing now, huh? And just, But I was liking this. I always go back to the basic, that's the problem. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. Let's just move that all the way over if we can. We'll see what happens. So, got that. Let's save that. Let's see what we can mess with. Let's see. Not loving any of this right now, but that's fine. Sometimes that happens, right? Okay, yeah, you know what? We're just going to keep it quarter note, and we're just going to do it this way. So that's not actually using the duck LFO, but it just sounds similar because it's using a triangle. What's that called? I don't even know. Whatever, sawtooth, thank you. Sawtooth? Is that? I don't know. I feel so ignorant on here. So let's save this. Let's make sure that this part is muted at first. Then maybe we'll make sure 3 is muted here. Here it'll start for 2, I guess. What if we just do that? Oh, and I forgot I never changed it from the default reverb, which is not my favorite. I mean, the default sound for it. And then maybe in 3, let's just change it up a lot and actually add. Let's change this to a delay. And let's increase the... Oh, that's fine-tuning. I misread that. Let's increase the feedback a bit. Maybe to like 80. Maybe we'll make it even faster. Like 16th. 16th dotted would be fine. And we'll do a new version of this. And let's, well, while we're at it, let's just make a new, let's just mute this for now, maybe. And let's change this setting a bit. Quantize it. Let's increase the shape and let's just mess with, well, let's just turn tone up. Oopsie. The purpose of the TX6 is that it's literally just my interface, and I've got my mic going into here too. There's no other purpose for it. What if we make this, in this new version, longer? I'm not that creative, so let's just go ahead and just do my normal thing of just, oh, I'll add a random, like, noodly lead. Why not? Except I need to play in key. That's kind of an important part. What else was I going to change with this? Oh, the sends. I wish I could have recorded that. Doing it this way may screw things up, but that is fine by me for now. Let's see how this goes. Could I... Maybe I could just repeat the whole thing, actually. Maybe I'm overthinking this, huh? Because we could just have it start... right there. I guess I'd probably accomplish what I want, maybe? Except let's make this subtle, and it's going to change... Is that really how it... Oh, is it because did I screw up the... Nope, I didn't screw up the effects. Interesting. So why is it so bit crushy if it's not slower? Is it because it's having to process this? Yeah, interesting. That makes sense. I just really, for some reason, I hadn't really thought of that. Let's do something weirder. Let's do maybe something a bit more rhythmic, and let's put on parameter 1. That's going to be really weird. Actually, let's put it on parameter 1, and let's have it be... That's interesting. Okay. what if we make it harmonize? 75% maybe? What if we turn these back on? Oh gosh. Okay, I'll admit this is not my best work right now. Where would this go to? I don't know, man. Oh, have I still not brought the bass back? Oops. Ooh, it's a bit dissonant, but I'm rolling with it. I'm okay with it. Let's save this, and then let's see what happens if we mess with the tempo. That's a lot of background noise happening. That'd be fun to make the bass just obnoxiously loud. Hey, Gibraldo? I don't know how it's pronounced, sorry. I like the XY a lot. I will say it feels like the least sort of whimsical and fun out of their instruments. I find myself I continuously am trying to sort of bring the KO2 back, and I find myself like making excuses to use the KO2. But I always seem to come back to the XY just because like it's project management. at a level that teenage engineering doesn't usually do. I'm not saying like it's mind-blowing for the industry, but like typically you can't name your projects, you don't have a version history, you can't save more than like 9 at a time. These are typical limits from teenage engineering, but here there's just a lot more, I don't know, there's just like a lot more that you can save, and it's a lot easier to come back to stuff. And with the end of chain on this, I find it really helpful for like tracking stuff, believe it or not. That might sound like weird, and you know, I'm just like a bedroom musician again, so I'm just like tracking stuff for like friends and for myself and stuff like that. But if I just record drums on this, it can actually be really, really cool, and you can get a full sound out of it that you can then kind of carve out in your DAW. I don't know if it's worth me going on a full tangent about that. Maybe I will, maybe I'll cut it out later. I don't know. Actually, you know what? It's only 12:30. I don't have work until 2:45, so I'm going to go ahead and go on this tangent, and my full plan then is to hopefully, oh man, my mic is like super, super hot, isn't it? Well, hopefully I don't make myself like impossible to hear now, but my hope is to, it's still, what have I done, everybody? Or, well, whatever. Is it the compressor? Am I wasting my time on this? Yes. Yes, I am. All right, who cares? Okay, so yeah, the saturation is real nice. I love the upward compression. It's probably my favorite thing on here. So let's turn it all the way down, or not the upward compression, but when the compressor gets to the higher levels, like past that little threshold. And I think it's like especially obvious if you just have like a pretty, yeah, like exactly like you were saying. And also, is it, how do you pronounce your name? Would it be like a hey, or just let me know, or if you don't want to put that out there, whatever. Then if I just turn up it just fills up all that space. And it does that with everything. So if instead I did, oh yeah, then if we go crazy with the gain in the clip, that would obviously, yeah. And then if we wanted, we could always resample this, you know? Reminds me of Daniel Lanois's guitar tone on the only song that I know by him. All right, let me save this again. You'll see I save things just like, I don't want to say compulsively, but like way too often. It's kind of like when I'm like writing in a Word document, I'm always like hitting Control S. It's weird, like tick. I don't know, whatever. All right. Do we want to make something different? Let's see. Do I want to go into, what was I going to go into details about? Jeez. Get it together, James. Come on. Actually, on that note, I'm going to get up for 1 second, and I'll be back in just a bit. I'll play this, but yeah. Be back in like literally like 30 seconds. I am back, and what I'm going to do now is let's Let's save this. Let's make a totally new one, and let's call it Not Gentle. I'm going to take my time on this again. I'm actually really enjoying this right now for whatever reason. Kind of feels like hanging out with somebody without hanging out with somebody. Not gentle. Okay. Speaking of which, I'm going to not refill my packs that I don't use. And if you have connections to that company, please let them know that I would gladly accept whatever free gear they want to give me. Okay, so for starters, let's go ahead and start getting these levels up there, just so we have something to start with. And maybe, what would be a good not gentle start thing? I guess I could it could be interesting to like rip off like a Godflesh riff or something. Ooh, it could, I don't know. I'll think about it for a sec while I sit over here for 1 second. Well, let's browse sounds while I'm doing some of that. I might even keep some of the default. I'm not sure. Oh, let's scramble some of this for fun. Ah, beautiful. I haven't quite figured out how best to make a video about it, but I want to eventually make a video about like scrambling sounds and then hearing what you like and keeping that. Because I feel like that's one of the things that I am grateful that I can do relatively consistently at this point, is I'm able to, like, if I don't like a preset or whatever, I know how to shape it into something I do like. What would be a good challenge for the next one? You know, I actually have this idea that I think I will give a try. I think I'm going to... Okay, sorry, almost done with everything I'm distracted with over here. All right, I think I'm going to create a very, very simple beat, maybe with like a melody, maybe with a rhythm. I mean, I guess beats have rhythms, oops. But I'm going to make something relatively simple, and I'm going to try to... I wonder if I could challenge myself to turn it to a song between the... No, that sounds miserable. Why would I make myself do something like that? Let's work with a loop. Let's work with let's work with some vinyl something or other. Let's see. Let's see what we got here.
When you got something that looks like trouble. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
That's kind of cool. Sure, let's start with that. Then maybe 3 for now can just be... oh, wait, we want it to be the drum engine still. I'll probably just... Oh, the other way you could do that is going like this. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up... Let's just pull up an amen break or something. The only thing is I'm going to have to down-tune this to fit the tempo, which could be tricky, but also kind of fun.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't... Looked like trouble, but...
Actually, what if we just set the tempo to...
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like 220.
Let's see.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. The 220 is the big... Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. The 220 is the big lug and drop, felt nice. The 220 is the big lug and drop, felt nice. The 220 is the big lug and drop, felt...
Why is it playing 2 notes? Oh, did I screw something up? I mean, yes, I did, but...
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Oh, because that's... I accidentally played through the whole thing. So let's just make it... No, I don't need that.
Looked like trouble, like that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble.
Okay, so let's have it... Oh my gosh. I just dropped my not vaporizer that I just finished loading up with not flour. And we're back again. Oh my god. So I get questions about this, like, this plate thingy back here all the time. It was made, or it is made by Fanboy, but I ordered it, like, just before they went on some sort of, I want to say that they might have had, like, a medical issue or something. They took a hiatus and they announced it publicly. But I happened to order this just before then. I think that they've come back, but I do not think that they are making the aluminum ones anymore. But this is awesome. I wish I could just, like, recommend it all the time to everybody, but, like, yeah. If you end up making something like this, hit me up and let me know, and I can, like, point people your direction, because I get asked about this all the time.
Looks like trouble, but that didn't.
Oh, right, because we want this to be the first of every two. And then we'll have, oh wait, which one is this? Okay, yeah. So this one will be, there we go.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Okay, now let's layer this. Actually, you know what? Instead of having it be muted with a step component, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to copy this to the second bar, delete that step on the first bar, and add a jump one at the end of the second bar. So now it's just going to play through this and it's empty, but then it's only going to repeat this second bar here.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Okay, so that also was not my intention. So let's make it so that we don't have that, but we do have the break. So let's see.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Let's increase that to 2, that to 2, and we'll have that happen every second time or every fourth time.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Oh, and let's do that same trick. You know what? Screw it. Let's just be honest and have that intro quote only be the only thing in scene 1, because I'm getting myself all twisted up here. So let's just start here.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
And then scene 2 is when we will introduce everything else. Yeah, let's just keep it simple for ourselves. I'm not always good at that. I will overcomplicate things. And let's see if this works. I may have to make some
Looked like
modifications
trouble,
here.
but that didn't bother me.
So that silence is not exactly what I was intending, but that's not the end of the world, I guess. Please don't kick me off of YouTube for using vape during the stream. It's part of my job, I could say.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Okay, so clearly we need to make that pattern a lot longer for the second one here. And we will do that by, let's increase this to, let's make it 16 bars. Oh, did I failed to delete the, I failed to do the trick I was going to do here. Oh, wait, let's just make it so that those happen every second time. Oops. Don't want them to jump, but we do want them to apply that every fourth time, maybe? My significant other just came home, and it's my fault for not reading my text, but we're going to persevere. Now let's make this even more intense. Okay. this ends up being like... Do you think that we have enough drums? That's a joke. Let's bring ourselves over to... Let's find some other quote that we'll use from this thing.
She was cute. How would you like a swift punch on the nose?
Oh, dear. I felt it coming. I was
Hey.
Now where's the dough?
And the old lady.
I thought detectives were heavy.
Is he a bad boy? Look, I'm a big boy.
Come on, big boy.
Those fingers went around. I could still feel those fingers on my throat. I even saw them.
This
Just
whole
a bunch
sample
of
pack
bananas that
sounds
look like
way kinkier than I thought it
Mike
did out of
walked in again,
context.
and I let him have it.
You killed Tom.
I want you. I'm sorry, but you know too.
The cops always like...
Oh, this is a good quote.
cops always
I
like-
think I've used it in a stream before in a video, but whatever.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Let's do that first.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
She's dead, isn't it?
Let's see
The
if that's...
cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Let's slow this down by just pitching it down slightly.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
I didn't like this at all. What if one has its own? I wonder if that'll play better.
Looked
Let's
like
see.
trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Let's make that happen even less frequently then. Oh no, wait, that's part of the tape track, isn't it? What if this goes further, actually, so it's a little different? Okay, did that just crash it? That was interesting. Oh no, it just ended the song, my bad. Okay, so this obviously doesn't have to be that long of a song. Let's make it half that length for that part. That's kind of the intro. And then I guess we'll do like a third part, and then I'm probably done for the stream and stuff.
The cops always like...
Yeah, so the second part is going to start with that line. And maybe what we'll do is we will do this. This will be very similar, except we will put that high pass filter way on there.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
And we will turn on this filter, make it really resonant.
The cops always like to solve murders. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
That sounds good enough for my purposes. Oops. Still getting used to this, even though I was so excited that they added the shift to navigate requirement. That doesn't sound great, but that's fine. We'll make it.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my...
Maybe we'll even, for scene 3, let's make it have its, or...
The cops always...
How do we make this have its own thingy?
The cops...
There we go.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
What if we do this one, but then on this key, or maybe over here, In fact, we could... Ooh, I just thought of something that could be kind of interesting. Let's pull up another classic break. Let's give that a try. So let's make sure that they're both pitched 8.9. That's fine. And what I might try here is, what if we have this in like legato mode? That could be really interesting. I wonder.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Okay, let's hear it without the tape track real quick.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Ooh, what if we do that also?
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
And then let's add another one. Right here. Why not? Or I guess I could also try to find that's interesting. Let's just find where it's... Can we loop that?
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Alright, I think we're ready for some bass. That was so underwhelming. Let's find... let's go by engine. Let's find one of the sampler ones. Maybe I'll find... I think I've got... oh, it could be really interesting to try something unusual like the piano or... I don't know. The PO14 maybe?
The cops always like to solve The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Let's do that, but we're going to make this a little bit... Oh, it's already legato. That's surprising.
The cops always like to solve murders done.
Oh, is it because it's sending to the tape track? That's it. That's the issue. That's what was confusing.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
gain and clip on the drums for a bit more edge. Yeah, let's do that. Let's turn the gain up here.
Cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Let's use the good old too much compression. Oh, and then there's the obvious thing here. Oof, got to put a high pass on this.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Let's actually just replace that with, is it cheating if I use one of mine? Oh, I don't care. Whatever, let's just use, where is one of mine? Did I not?
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. Cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Okay, so there needs to be something else that leads into this.
Looks like.
Right, there's got to be like a pad or something. So that's what I think I'm going to add, and then that's probably going to be it for today. Might do a little bit of arrangement and stuff, but and like maybe one final playthrough, but maybe that's about it. Let's have this. Yeah, let's do, yep, that's fine, but maybe we'll have it go to swarm, yep. I forgot that we could see the value changing. That's so helpful. Okay, so what are we actually going to start on?
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
No, what am I doing?
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
And it definitely shouldn't have that.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders.
Okay, I'm
like
about
trouble,
to be done with this anyway, but I don't know, what's a good, let's just make one kind of from scratch. That sounds, for some reason, that sounds a little easier right now. Let's find, not a guitar loop, let me find maybe one of my guitar samples. I hope I've got some. I've got the patio one. That's fine. Let's go with that. Let's go with the... Here we go. And let's put... And what we'll do is I'm going to go here.
Looked like trouble. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder if I may need to edit that to make it fit the tempo better, but we'll try it.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Let's go with that. What if we do 8? I think this is going to accomplish what I am hoping for, but we'll see.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me.
Let's just go there, and then maybe on the second one here.
Looked like trouble. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
Let's take exactly this, but let's make the LFO way slower.
The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders.
Okay, I have no idea what this is going to sound like, but I think I'm over it anyway, so let's just do one more playthrough. And I might just repeat stuff and all that, we'll see.
Looked like trouble, but that didn't bother me. Cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. Always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. Cops always like to solve murders done with my gun. The cops always like to solve murders done with my gun.
All right, well, that's as close as I'm getting to a playthrough for that second song. This is the longest stream I've done. Jeez. Thanks so much for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you next time.